Hey friends, welcome to another Facebook Live. I'm coming live to you from the parking lot of the Pack-a-Sack in just outside Canyon, Texas. I am in the far north panhandle of Texas on my way to Colorado today to finish my book on acting. So I have a couple of things I want to talk to you guys about today. Sorry if I seem a little distracted, but people are walking around and just it's very odd to be doing this from a parking lot. Anyway, I don't know about you guys, but I've been having this weird sort of sense of ennui ever since our freeze, that ice storm, and it was kind of exacerbated when Abbott lifted the mask mandate in Texas. And I think partly it's because in many ways here it seems like things are back to normal, and yet we know they're not normal because things all over the world are shut down. And I know for me, because I am fundamentally a theater practitioner, I mean, I've done film and commercials and television and music videos and all that, but I started out in the theater, and I still can't do the thing that I love because as an equity performer we're not allowed to perform. Anyway, so I knew that this trip would be a good way for me to reset and sort of get at what was bothering me. And trust me, this is all related to acting, if you're wondering. Anyway, and so I've noticed as I have been on this trip that my spirits are really lifting. Now, granted, I always enjoy going on a road trip because I can get excited about the smallest thing, you know, like a new coffee maker in the hotel room, that sort of thing. But what I noticed is I am getting to enjoy things that have nothing to do with acting, okay? And this is part of my keynote speech today. That I think we can get really, it's so weird because I preach against this, but I think we can get really obsessed. Hey, Christina. I think we can get really obsessed with, like, when's my next audition? How did my last audition go? Somebody else is booking. Why aren't I booking? When did I book my last job? What's going on? Why isn't this casting director bringing me in? Why wasn't I brought in for this show? And like, that's all we think about, and we unconsciously start to measure our value based on how all of that is going. And I didn't think I was doing that, and I feel like I know better because I've been at this long enough that I know not to do that and to, you know, have other interests and not let that have a grip on me. But I think that it has, and just being on this trip so far, and, you know, I'm rereading Larry McMurtry's sort of existential book of essays called Walter Benjamin at the Dairy Queen, because I drove to Archer City, which was his birthplace and his death place, and I went to Charles Goodnight's ranch house, and he was the character that Captain Call in Lonesome Dove was based on. And hey Sarah, hey Mary, and anyway, so I've been just following my other interests and really diving deep in those and not worrying about the whole acting thing, which is so funny because I'm on this trip to write a book about acting, and I'm actually kind of thinking about it in terms that are more esoteric and existential rather than just like, oh hey, you know, when am I going to book my next job, that sort of thing. So that's my first note to you, which is if you find yourself getting depressed over, hey Connie Plummer, if you find yourself getting depressed over where you are in your career right now, if you're feeling stagnant, I would say double down on your other hobbies and think about that sort of thing, because you know, there's just more to life. There's just more to life. And when our only measuring stick of happiness is our acting work, then we're probably going to have a pretty shallow life. Hey, Joker Safi. Anyway, so that's my first bit of stuff for you today. And yes, Joe will double down on his hobbies. Good man, yeah, absolutely. And I know better, guys, I know better, but it always helps to have a reset. The second thing is, and I just realized I'm sitting here with my car idling, which is not good for the environment, but oh well. Here, I'm going to turn off my car. Hold, please. Anyway, and so the second thing is, I was listening to this podcast, and they were talking about integrity, and I've been exposed to this concept before, you know, not integrity as a moral construct, but integrity as in, like, if there is a lack of integrity, say, for example, in a bridge, you know, the bridge might collapse and the cars might go into the ocean, right? So that's kind of a problem. So integrity, thank you, Joseph Jones. So integrity in this sense is about, are things working together, and is everything working properly? Is everything working as it should? And one of the things that this particular podcast was talking about was walking the talk. Like, are you talking about something but not actually doing it? And it got me thinking that I think that is what happens to a lot of us when we start to get really angsty around our acting situation, we'll call it. You know, am I booking? Am I not booking? You know, why aren't things working out the way they're supposed to? That sort of thing. And I think what I see as a coach, when people get into that mess, it's because they're talking a lot about acting and they're not doing a lot about acting. And so what does that look like? Well, that might look like, yeah, I should probably get new headshots, but I just don't know what looks I should go for, and I don't know what characters I should do, and I don't know which photographer to go to. Well, you know what? Then start doing research, because basically if you started to do the research and then you called up the photographers and then you pulled your wardrobe and then you decided on which looks you were going for and then you actually got the pictures, you would actually be doing something about it, right? Rather than ruminating about it. And so I offered that to you today. What in your life, and it could be acting, it could be something else, what in your life do you consistently talk about but not do anything about? Because that could be a really big source of your ennui or your dis-ease, as the people say. So anyway, those are the 2 bits of wisdom I have for you today. I don't expect to have a lot of questions today, and I actually don't see any questions today. So this may be the shortest and the sweetest of my Facebook Lives, which is just fine by me, because like I said, I'm on my way to Colorado to finish writing my book. So I'll be locked up in a cabin with bears and deer and elk and rabbits and birds for the next 2.5 weeks, and it's going to be wicked awesome. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me, and if you're joining me later, I hope you'll really take these 2 concepts under advisement and see where you can apply them in your life. As always, please, 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 I suggest that you sign up for my YouTube channel, because I release a new video every single week. This week's will be a little bit late because guess what? I'm on the road. And then I also suggest you sign up for my email list, because there are things that I talk about in my email list and that I share with my email group that I just don't share anywhere else. And if you want to learn more about me and what I have to offer, both as an actor and as an acting coach, you can check out my website, www.saragaston.com. No H. Thank you, Joseph. And as always, my friends, stay safe and break a leg out there.